everyone, welcome to Cooking with Bae. I'm your host, Lindsay, also known as Animal Based Bae, and we are here with some very special guests. This is Carrie and Anne, and actually, we're reporting to you live from Canada, Alberta, Canada, specifically in the area of Fairview, and I'm here actually on a hunting trip, but to my surprise, I'm also here to learn how to can from just, the best of the best. We learn from people who have tons of experience doing the canning and the processing. And so I was like, hey, do you guys want to just do a quick, YouTube cooking show just to teach everyone? Well, myself first included. So you guys get to learn with me today. And today we are canning some moose, and this is made from moose roast. So this was harvested from your family?
Yes, last year.
Last year.
Like,
okay.
Probably October.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. So I've never had moose before, so I'm super excited. And then, like I said, to learn about canning, when she told me about the process, I'm like, wow, that's so easy. Mm-hmm. And I don't have those pantry cabinets because I don't have anything like, processed or like shelf stable foods that I eat. But what a great thing to sort of replace instead of your pantry cabinet, because these could be all grab and go, anything canning, from your meat canning to your pickles and we saw a room of yours too, like the cold room with all those canning. So it's like, I want to learn. So this is exciting. So what do you say we dive in? Okay, let's do it. Let's show you how to can some meat. I mean, it doesn't have to be moose, but meat canning. Here it is. All right, so we're going to dive into the ingredients and what you need. So, Anne, why don't you tell us what everybody will need here?
Okay. First of all, I'll just put a roast on each cutting board.
Cool. So we need a roast.
Yep.
Any kind of roast. So could this work with beef roast and lamb roast, pork roast?
I'm sure. Yeah, I've only done, I guess, beef, deer, and moose.
Right, yeah, more wild. Kind of what you guys harvest.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
And so we just cube it, just like if you were to cut it up for stew.
Okay, great.
And then we'll put it in these jars.
Okay. So we need some canning jars.
Yeah.
Anything in particular canning wise, or just kind of?
Well, the jars you can get, the 3 sizes are a wide mouth. This is called gem, the middle size, and then there's a smaller size standard.
Okay.
I prefer these or the wide mouth, but I'm not sure that you can buy these anymore.
Okay.
This size. And then we need lids for it. Cool. And there's 2 types.
Okay.
You can use these lids. They're metal with the rubber on it.
Yeah, and these ones we're kind of like familiar with, just, you can find a lot of these in those ball glasses and things like that. So these ones. Okay, what else are we looking at? We have our roast. We have our kind of the explanation of the glass jars ready to go. Then, that just makes us a little less messy.
Yeah.
Then we have salt. We'll need salt. And we'll talk about how much to do on each one as we move through this process. And then we'll need a pot for
putting your meat in.
Putting your meat in. So is this the meat or the meat in the glass jars?
This would just be as you cut it, just set it in here.
Okay.
And then we'll fill the jar.
Okay. And this is great to have a roast that is a little bit tougher, or like you've had in your freezer for a while too. Mom, do you need to cut off the gristle or the suet? No. So you can just cut as is.
Great point. Yes. So this is great because, a lot of people go for those steaks that are most tender and the juicy, and those are great to toss on the grill for a few minutes. But, to not waste a whole animal, just to consume and eat the whole animal, these still have valuable nutrients in them. But sometimes we want the experience of eating it to be a little bit, better. So
it makes it very tender.
As Carrie was saying, that this is a super great way to purchase or, use up affordable types of cuts and types of meats. It's definitely way cheaper than any, ribeye or specialty steak in the market. So it's a great way to save and still get your nourishment.
Yeah. And you can just take a jar, like we often take it quadding or camping or like just going out for the day or to the city, and it's just easy.
Yeah, so like the jar with the liquid in it and just kind of cool, being mobile with
and
it.
it's shelled. It's shelled,
Yeah.
but like if you even eat it cold, it's good.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yes.
And you don't add liquid. It makes
Oh.
its own liquid.
There you go. We're gonna
Yeah.
get,
So you
we're
don't
gonna
add
get
any.
to that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we are just cutting up the roast into cubes. Carrie and I are our sous chefs to Anne, because Anne is the star of the show. This is her recipe, so very excited to learn from a well-experienced canner. And so what we're doing is we are chopping the roast into cubes, and then right now we have this pot just to kind of toss the cubes in for, you know, staging purposes as we move along the stage of canning. And then Anne, you were popping in some of these guys here.
You know what? I'll just come on this side. And how about you put it in here, Carrie?
And just about 1-inch cubes.
Yeah.
1-inch cubes. Okay, great. Yeah, something like, you know, you would find at the store in like a stew meat packet. So you would kind of just cut them into cubes that way. So Carrie and I were just talking about how lean this meat is, and I love a good lean meat. Like, I get this a lot from elk too, that delivers my home, though I'm not, you know, actually hunting it. But, well, this trip I am, so I'm very excited. Actually, Anne mentioned, she's like, we need some more meat. So can you guys just be successful on your hunt? Which is super, no pressure at all.
There you go, Carrie.
But the leanness of this really allows for you to get super creative with your meals, because it makes it a great vehicle for flavor. So if you wanted to add your fruit, or you wanted to add more like cheeses and fats, that not only pick up the flavor really nicely, but also it creates a great balance of your macros, so you're not just like eating fat on fat on fat. So that's where I really love the lean meat, is to enjoy a different variety of flavors and just like cool recipes. So while I was doing this, I've just only been literally cutting up one roast, and I think Anne crushed like 3 or 4. So obviously the more you do this, the faster you get at it. So we're filling these jars. So about how much meat did we start with?
Well, it's two pounds per jar.
2 pounds per jar.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's plenty. It doesn't look like it's stuffed in, so it looks like there's still some, you just plop it in and it still seems like it's breathable, right? Yep, so here we are still canning. And this is, again, it's not necessarily to stuff them. You can squeeze them down a little bit, right, Anne?
Yeah.
Or tell us a little bit about it.
Because it does shrink up.
Okay.
It does shrink up as it cooks.
So about 1 inch.
About 1 inch from the top.
Okay, no worries. Okay, just 1 little teaspoon of salts is what we kind of put on top of that. Make sure no flies are in there. We did already have to like pick one out. But... So now what we've done is you boiled the tops a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, for the just suction of it?
Yeah, just make it pliable. You put it on the lid.
Okay. So if you have those types of lids that we showed you with the glass, and then those little kind of silicone pieces, what Anne did was she boiled a little pot over whatever, just a stove or something like that, because this heat will help with the suction of the glass. What's the important part of this? Is it the suction? So if people can't get and source these.
Yes, and then they would use these.
Okay, these.
And this is what I've always used.
Yeah. All right, so what we are doing next is...
So we will put them in the canner now. So you, first of all, you put 3 quarts of water in the canner.
Okay, so 3 quarts of water in the canner. So is it necessary to have a canner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, so we want a pressure canner.
A pressure canner.
Okay.
Not just a water bath canner.
Okay.
So a pressure canner, you put your jars in.
Amazing.
And you put the lid on top.
Okay.
And you bring it, you bring it to a boil, and it has to let off steam for 7 minutes out of here. Then we put the pressure valve on.
I see. Okay, so does it boil before or after you actually put the cans in?
It'll boil now once the lid is on.
Yep.
Yeah, so you just have it warm in there, and then put your jars in.
Okay.
Then your lid. and then let it blow off its steam for 7 minutes.
7 minutes, and we'll start a timer.
Yeah. As soon as we see steam coming out, then we'll put the pressure gauge on.
Okay.
And it's 10 pounds pressure for 90 minutes.
Okay. 90.
90. 90.
90.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We will wait for this thing to steam.
And how long can they last, the jars?
Well, they can be on the shelf as long as they're sealed, you know, several years probably.
Yeah.
know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as they stay sealed.
Right.
And they shouldn't unseal unless you want to have them in a bit of a cool, dark place.
Right.
You know, that
Basements, or
kind.
maybe like a, you know, colder cabinet, like away from any like heating elements or stove or things like that. Just like, you know, in a little kind of dark place. Or maybe you have, you know, a temperature controlled like sort of room too. I know after this, I'm going to start getting weird with canning and stuff like that, especially if you can like keep it for years on end. Like this is, you know, no preservatives. No, this is meat and salt. And that's it. And just, you know, this little bit of a process that really holds its integrity for such a long time. Great hack. It is steaming out of this vent right now. So now it has been steaming. So what did we do? We set the timer for 7 minutes?
Yeah, we set the timer for 7 minutes.
Perfect.
And
did you want to add something else to
that? Probably not until we're done that part.
Okay, great.
You can be turned down a little, as long as it keeps steaming, we can turn the dial down a little bit, or the temperature.
Great.
Yeah.
So before
Down
it was
to
whatever for boil,
high.
now we're on medium?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Cool. So it has steamed for 7 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now what are we doing?
Now we put the pressure gauge on, 10 pounds pressure for 90 minutes. But you have to wait till it starts to wobble. You don't time it yet until it starts to wobble.
So, guess what? The pressure gauge is shimmying. So now we start the clock.
Yep, 90 minutes.
90.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it was 90 minutes.
Yes.
And then we took the moose stew, or you can use any sort of beef stew, out. And then what happens next after the 90 minutes?
Then you just let the pressure, you turn the burner off, let the pressure go down.
Safety tips, turn the burner off.
Yes, turn the burner off. Let the pressure go down, and then once the pressure is down, and you'll know because there's the little the vent at the top will be flat, and then you can take the lid off. It'll take a good half hour, and then you can take the lid off and take your tongs and pull them out and put them on the table.
Okay. Could start consuming it how soon?
Right away.
Right, because you cook it and you can have it then, but then you can leave it in the jar, and how long can it stay on the jar?
Probably a few years. I don't really know. We use it up within a year or two. So as long as it stays sealed, it probably lasts a long time.
Also, I know you wanted to mention a tip too, quick as well. Even though we use just a little bit of salt on top of the meat for your seasonings,
right?
That opportunity also, some people take that opportunity to add other things such as.
Yeah, I guess you could put, I haven't done it myself, but all kinds of herbs that you would maybe normally put in a stew, and seasonings.
Okay.
You could do that.
Right, yeah, so if you're one that likes to spice it up or add a little flavor, go for that.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we have got going on here? I hear we have tomatoes from Carrie's garden.
Pickled beets from our garden.
Okay, great. This is the chicken. We also made this in combination with the moose meat today. We just didn't show you that part of it. Baby steps, right? Because I'm learning too. Beginner 101 canning recipe. We got the moose meat here. Pickles.
And dill pickles,
I saw that we had these beautiful raspberries here. Wow. I'm coming for holiday season.
Yeah.
Awesome. From the garden. And what else?
This is borscht. And so that's your beets and potatoes, different vegetables in there. And then I can that in the pressure canner as well.
Oh, okay.
And you can put meat in it too, but normally we just have borscht without the meat.
Great.
Yep. and then beans from our garden, and I pressure can those as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you really buy anything in the store anymore? We were talking about this the other day, right? Do you buy meat at all?
No meat.
Wow.
Not generally.
Yeah. Jerry's a hunter.
Except maybe a bit of bacon and sausage is all.
Yeah.
But we could do it ourselves. Yeah, your milk and butter, some fruit.
Wow. So
not too much else.
Great way to save is to, just have a garden, do some canning, and there you go. Health in a jar.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Anne, so much for
You're
having
welcome.
me in Canada and also sharing your recipe. I feel like it's just very special, and sometimes, others hold those very, secret. This is a family recipe. So thank you for sharing it with me and my community. If you guys try canning or you have done canning before, comment below, come back, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm going to get weird with canning, and I'm probably going to do more, and I'm going to probably call you up and be like, what do I do?
Anytime.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. See you next time.
Yeah.